Hi, welcome to the Sickle Cell Association of BC channel. We're going to talk about the sickle cell crisis, and I'm going to talk about just some of the things that I do for when I get a sickle cell crisis, some of the procedures I go through, some of the things I take. Talk to your doctor because everybody's body is different. And there's different types of sickle cell. There's sickle cell SS, there's sickle cell SC, there's beta thalassemia kind of mix. There's all kinds of different types of issues with different types of bleeding disorders. So yeah, talk to your doctor, make sure, but this is just what I do. So I was just gonna give you an idea of what I do, and then if it gives you some ideas, then yeah, talk to your doctor and your nurses and ask and see if these are options for you. But yeah, you just want to make sure that the things that you take also jive with any herbal stuff that you're taking as well. There's no interactions or contraindications or whatever. So let's get to it. When I get a sickle cell attack, I can feel it prior, right? I'm super tired, extraordinarily tired. I'm exhausted. And like just walking just up the stairs to my bedroom, my heart is pounding, right? Suddenly I'm like, just like, what is happening? And I feel gross, and then I'm like, uh-oh, something, and you start feeling it in the area, right? You're like, uh-oh, something's going on. So sometimes I try to do trigger management if I can catch it in time, right? Trigger management meaning, okay, so I've been triggered, it's coming, I'm gonna try and see if I can nap it in the bud, like just catch it. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. Sometimes I'm sleeping, so I don't have any idea, and I wake up in a sickle cell crisis. Weird thing too is I'm a nighttime sickler, which is really weird. Nighttime sickle, it just, for some reason, it comes at night. And they don't know why. The majority of my sickling attacks are at night. I have no idea why that is. If you know why, if you're a doctor and you're like, I know why, please put it in the comments. I would love to know why I'm a nocturnal sickler. It's just so weird. And I know other people that are like me too, that just do it at night. It waits until the end of the day when nobody's available and all the doctors are gone, when it's a pain in the rear. But one of my biggest sickle cell triggers, of course, is a lack of sleep, certain things like overexhaustion, dehydration, chemical, cigarette smoke. Like there's certain things that will trigger a sickle cell attack, and you'll know what your triggers are. Changes in temperature from hot to cold, or from cold to hot, or barometric pressure, being on your period. I mean, there's so many different types of triggers. Your body will respond to whatever. But in the early stages, so I'm going to talk about the early stage sickling attack, mid stage, and then like, oh shit, and that one, right? That's when you're like, okay, I might have to go to the hospital. And with that one, I actually did a separate video on how to do like hospital bag. So check that out. That's like how to be prepared ahead of time, right? If you know it's coming and there's nothing you can do, you just have a bag ready. So you can check that video out later. And okay, so if I can catch it in time, I do a combination. A friend of mine, he's so great with supplements. He's really, really good. His name is Sasha. He recommended to me L-glutathione, the one that you put under the tongue, so sublingual, underneath the tongue. Then I take with beetroot nitric oxide, right? Nitric oxide is super important for sickle cell. Oh my God. That helps to relax the blood vessels so that the cells can go through properly. And niacin, I take about 500 milligrams. Now, you might take a smaller dose, take, like maybe 100 or whatever, because it makes you itchy and scratchy, and you're like, oh God, what's happening? And that's actually a good thing. There is something called niacin that says flush free, but I don't take that. I don't recommend, like you want that flush. The flush means that your capillaries are expanding and contracting, right? And I want that. I want that traffic jam that's occurring in my body, right? When the sickle cell crisis is when the cells get stuck in the arteries or capillaries, blocking blood flow. And it's so painful. It can cause, people get priapism if you're a man. Some people get blindness. Some people go deaf. I mean, I nearly went deaf earlier this year. You can sickle. I had splenic infarction last year, where you have it in the certain organs in the kidneys. So don't play around. And one of the worst ones, which happens a lot with people with sickle cell SC disorder, is when it happens in the lungs, which is called acute chest syndrome. Bloody painful. And I used to blow it off. Isn't that crazy? Because I didn't realize. Everybody says, oh, sickle cell SC, it's a milder form of sickle cell, which is absolute hooey. It's not true. Sickle cell SC presents differently. It affects different systems in the body. It doesn't mean it's less, doesn't mean it's milder, it doesn't mean any of that. It just means it's different, right? And she did this amazing presentation, and please check her work out, McGill University, Véronique Naessens. I'll put her name in the description below. Sorry, my door is creaking behind you. Yeah, please check her out. She's amazing. She's in McGill University. She did a wonderful PowerPoint video that I'm trying to get a hold of, that I'll try to put out there for you guys as well, because it was just like, so because of this thing where this myth that sickle cell SC is milder, people can actually die from it. Just from neglect, because people think, oh, it's just SC, it's no big deal. It's actually not. It's actually very serious. And so this is the disorder I have. I have sickle cell SC. So I don't play around with it anymore. If a second I feel something weird, I get on it right away without delay. So this is my like, oh, something's starting to mess around. I'm feeling pretty not so good. I'll do this formulation. So I'll chew on this first, then I'll put this under my tongue, then I take the niacin, right? Boom, 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 right? So that's the first thing, right? And here in Canada, sometimes I'll take, because cannabis and CBD oils and stuff like that are legal, so I'll have maybe a little bit of that, right? And see if I can get it under control. Then I drink tons and tons and tons and tons of water, right? To try and flush and get my circulation going. I try to do that. The other thing is I have this little vibration massage thingy. And sometimes I'll just put that vibration on the area that I'm sickling in the hopes, maybe it's a, psychosomatic, not psychosomatic, what do you call it when it's a placebo or whatever. Sometimes I can nail it and it feels better, like it goes away. I don't know, maybe it's my imagination, but sometimes having that vibration, getting that circulation going, getting that moving feels better, right? Just having that little massage thing. Not always, right? That's not going to work for splenic infarction or for, acute chest syndrome. You could try it, but yeah, vibration might not work. But this is just something that you can give a try. Okay, so that's stage 1, right? And also in stage 1, I have an infrared mat, right? Or I'll go into a hot bath, right? And ease into the heat, right? Ease into it slowly, heat up slowly if you're on an infrared mat. Some people don't like it at all. Some people need cold. But for me, I need the infrared heat provides the body with nitric oxide, right? Nitric oxide, again, relaxes those capillaries, right? Also helping with the niacin to get through the vitamins that I need, right? Okay, so if that doesn't work, then I'm in stage 2, right? Stage 2, then it's an anti-inflammatory, right? Some people use like things like Advil or other NSAIDs like ibuprofen and all that kind of stuff. I personally use ketorolac, and I start with ketorolac, right? I think it's 10 milligrams of ketorolac. The reason why I don't do Advil is just in case it's a really serious sickling attack. You cannot mix your NSAIDs. They always say, don't mix NSAIDs, and don't play around, right? I always have, if I do have an ibuprofen type drug, I always have something to eat with it, something small, like some toast or some crackers or some vegetables or whatever, so that it's not great for your tummy, right? NSAIDs, have been known to cause problems with tummy problems, right? And I wound up getting ulcerative colitis, later in the future. We'll talk about that later. I think I did a video on it. I don't know. I'll check and see. But yeah, so you want to be careful with NSAIDs. But I start with ketorolac, right? Boom, knock it out, dead, flat, and then I'll see where I'm at. I'll just get back to bed. I'll keep massaging, keep the vibration, keep the heat, whatever it is, and see if I can get out of that stage. There's another drug that I like called Nabalon. It may or may not be legal in your state because it's a cannabis-derived medication. You can give it a try. I find that cannabis, I find for sickle cell is okay to widen your threshold of pain. I don't say, it doesn't necessarily get rid of the pain, but it widens the threshold. But you don't want to widen the threshold where like you blow it off for so long that you just, you don't get it done and you need to go to the hospital, right? You don't want to wait too long, right? It's all about timing with sickle cell. If you can catch it right away, then you can nail it right away. So I just, I don't know, I'm mixed on cannabis for sickle cell for myself, right? For other people, maybe it'll work great, but I find that I really do need an anti-inflammatory. And then if that doesn't work, then I have an actual medication protocol that a wonderful doctor, Dr. Pamela Squire, she is a pain management specialist. And if you can see one or find one in your town, wherever you are, it's a wonder if they're really good. Pamela Squire really helped me. She designed a whole protocol, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, of things that I take in the different stages as I go along. And then in stage 2, yeah, I like to do I start with that heavy duty and anti-inflammatory, right? And I don't necessarily do Advil. I brought it out because some people like to use Advil, but I prefer Ketorol. Okay, so you're after stage 2, then you're into stage 3. Stage 3 is like, okay, this is it. It's either now or never when I start to prepare to go to the hospital. If I still can't get it under control, things are getting out of hand, it's time to go in, right? No questions asked. And I don't even, bother with the stage if it's acute chest syndrome. If it's acute chest syndrome and you know it, go in right away. Don't even bother with anything. Bring it with you in your bag, in your hospital bag. I have a big video on a hospital bag, to go for sickle cell or whatever, for a sickle cell attack or for chronic pain or whatever. Watch it, pack, have it ready, and then get the hell out and go to the hospital, because acute chest syndrome, it can kill you. Acute chest syndrome is a really serious condition and you don't want to play around, not at all. You need to be treated right away without delay. So stage 3 is when I have to I add an opiate to the mix. Now there's this huge controversy right now with opiates and the opiate crisis and all this, so it's gotten a lot harder. There's a lot more discrimination against people with sickle cell with regard to opiates, because we need to use opiates when we're in that stage 3. I'm sorry, it's just how it is. And they're, you're a drug seeker and all this. It's complete hooey, right? Not all of us are drug seekers, right? We're just there to, they wouldn't say that if a person had MS or cancer or any of that. But they do it for sickle cell, which is crazy. And you could wind up, the person can go into shock and die. That's how serious this thing is. So you need to treat it quickly. And you need a doctor that knows what they're doing, that believes you, right? That actually understands what you're going through, and that can treat you properly. And if you have a hematologist, great. Try and see a hematologist, tell them what's going on. And yeah, I always call ahead to the hospital, letting them know, the hematology people know that I'm coming. And I also bring a little bit of paperwork on my diagnosis, just to add credibility to my claims, right? With the treatment program and all of that, I have it with me when I go, right? That way, who are you to ask for drugs, blah, 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 because they make you rot in those emergency rooms. It's horrible. And people, you wait too long, you can die, right? But they just let you rot there, right? Or you can have, permanent blindness or permanent hearing loss. They just, some of those places, they don't care. Some places they do care. Some places are really great. So you really have to experiment with the hospitals, right? And the people and your team and stuff. So always call ahead, make sure you talk to your doctor, tell them that you're going into the hospital so that they know where you are and they know what's happening, right? And also bring your medications with you to the hospital as well, just in case you have to rot in that hospital. Bring something to do. And I have a whole video on all of that with the hospital bag. So then once you're in the hospital, I always bring a journal or something to write in, because if they do drug you, or whatever, you're on an IV, you're not feeling good, your brain is kind of foggy, I need to write down the names of the doctors that are treating me. I need to write down the names of the treatments, what they gave me, what time. I do all that. Or I always try and bring somebody with me, right? I used to try and go alone, and just because I didn't want to bother people, but no, you need somebody with you. It could be a parent, a spouse, a loved one, a friend, whoever, to help write down some of this stuff for you, because it's important to know, and if a doctor makes a mistake, you need to know the name of that doctor who made the mistake. Or if a doctor was really awesome and amazing, you want to find that person again, so it's good to have that with you when you go to the hospital. And then, as they treat you, whatever your treatment program or plan is, because usually it's hydration, they give you, whatever it is. Sometimes some people need antibiotics, some people need, a larger dose of opiates, or whatever it is that they need. It's up to you. Really, what your treatment plan is, it's up to them to decide what that is for you, because everybody's going to be different, right? That's all I have to say for today on the sickle cell crisis. I might get into like different types of crises, like say if you do get acute chest syndrome, or you have something getting sickling. I get a lot of sickling in my hips and my shoulders and my chest. Those are the areas. And now my spine, damn it, and my ear. So I have to be careful with these areas. So I'll get into some of my own personal experiences with those types of problems in a different video. But thank you so much. You could have watched any other video, but you sat and you watched me ramble on for, however minutes I've been talking. But I really appreciate you taking the time to spend with me. And please like and subscribe if you enjoy this content. And be well. Take care. See you in the next video.